Welcome back. It's easy these days to see why the mayor of Houston says the city is broke. For starters, an inherited $160 million budget deficit combined with a substantial upfront expense of $1 billion-plus labor deal with firefighters. Erasing all that red ink is going to demand new revenue, a reality that's triggered lots of chatter about Houston joining all the other major cities in Texas, which impose on their citizens a garbage collection fee. Our good friend Bill King has been investigating the pros and cons and concluded the imposition of a fee would cause scads of neighborhoods to abandon the city's sketchy service and instead hire much more efficient private trash haulers.
Nobody's going to buy the city service if they have an option. And what really worries me about it is that the people that are going to be stuck with this relatively high fee and the poor service are the poorest neighborhoods in town that don't have an HOA, that can't get organized, that just really don't have an option but to take the city service. And so, once again, we're just kind of dumping on the people that have already been dumped on, forever in this city.
Panel, Bill says roughly 25% of Houston's neighborhoods are already served by city-subsidized private trash collectors who get consistently high marks for what they deliver. All right, Dr. Jack Christie, what do you make of this issue?
Well, I think the whole 8 years I was on city council as an at-large member, I thought financially running a business, it'd be better to privatize the whole process. You're stuck with pensions, you're stuck with medical costs, and when they wouldn't change all the trucks to alternative fuels, I just kept getting angrier and angrier that privatizing would save this. We've got a Houston-based company, Waste Management. We've got Brown and Ferris Industries that started with one truck. They do it more efficiently and cost efficient. It would save the city 30% on the cost of trash hauling.
Marcus, 30 seconds.
Well, speaking of privatization, there's a lot of things that we should probably look at in the city where we could privatize. One being fire. We've talked a lot about what happens in the firefighters with the EMS services and whether or not that should be privatized. So if we're going to talk about privatizing, we should look at a number of departments where this could save the city money and not just one area.
Charles Blaine, some famous Republican said if you can find them in the yellow pages, it shouldn't be in government.
Listen, I agree with that, especially if it means saving taxpayers money. Listen, the poor neighborhoods always get the short end of the stick. And like I said before, we're talking about people who cannot already afford it. We have people in the city who tomorrow morning are going to have to wake up and decide if they're going to overdraft their bank account to have money to get gas to go to work. And now we're talking about assessing a garbage fee on them along with a tax increase in November. I think we really need to look inside and look at privatization and look at where the city can cut before we go to people and ask them for more money.
Chell, I'm in one of those neighborhoods that has a subsidy from the city, $6 a household. We get clockwork 2 times a week, heavy trash, and recyclables. Thoughts?
Yeah, for you, that's great. And for those citizens who have privatized waste, that's great. But what about, we're forgetting that we are talking about privatizing, which means we will take swaths of employees from the city of Houston, your beloved workers.
Great point.
Right?
No,
who are going to be like, what the heck? What's going to happen to my job? What about my pension?
Which is why I brought out, if we're going to talk about privatization, we got to talk about it across the board. And let me just point out,
we're taking Paul's time.
I'm sorry, Paul, but we're talking about adding a garbage fee, not to pay the garbage workers. That's a travesty.
Okay, King says most of the private companies would hire the public workers. I don't know. That's just a rebuttal. You agree with that real quickly?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
All right.